Friends, my name is Mahendra and I'm founder CEO of iNurture Incubation Foundation. iNurture Incubation Foundation is a business incubator supported by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology under the TIDE 2.0 program. We have recently raised around 1.7 CR from the MIT. And apart from that, we are engaged with the MSME and GST with incubation and DST supported training programs. Today, I will discuss the two things with you guys. One is entrepreneurship as career option, and second, entrepreneurial competencies. So entrepreneurship as a career option, why we need the entrepreneurship in the education institutions, why we need to be train my faculty members to become the entrepreneurial agent. So I suppose this program is to be trained the faculty members in the area of entrepreneurship, so that while you go back to your institution, you can help your students to become entrepreneur. You can guide your students to join the entrepreneurship journey. So today's learning plan is started like a cash flow model, which we call the Robert Saki cash flow coordinates. The entrepreneurship need, entrepreneurship concept, background in India, our challenges as an entrepreneurship ecosystem, and the process to become entrepreneur. All right, so take a while and think about word without any enterprise and entrepreneurs. All right, so in your case, probably there's a lot of answers are coming, right? But I have think over it and found some answers. That is, if there is a no enterprise, no entrepreneurs, probably there is a little innovation, little creativity, no productivity, only few jobs over there. And directly or in other way, the entrepreneurs are not only provide the jobs, they are the economical pillars. They help to grow the country's economy. All right, this is famous Robert C. Kiyosaki cash flow coordinates, where the left side E and S is belong and right side B and I. E means employee, B means self-employed, sorry, S means self-employed, B means business owner, and I means investor. Any individual can take or join any of the coordinates as per their own choice. Largely their decision to taking E, S, B and I on the basis of their value system. They are on the basis of what kind of family background they are coming. Either they are coming from a rich, strong family background where they have the high risk taking potential, and they choose the B and I. Where in the other way around, if the person comes from a family background where they do not have a risk taking capacity, having a low risk appetite, so they choose E and S. Nevertheless, all the coordinates are good. There's no bad about any coordinates. All the coordinates are good. People are earning so many money as an employee. Also, people are earning so many rich money in the self-employed zone, business zone, and investor zone also. What the difference is? Let me complete to you. All right, in the left side, 5% wealth, and right side the wealth is 95%. In the left side, 95% population, and the right side there's a 5% population. A person choose employee or the self-employed. It means if I am choosing the employed, means the 5% wealth which is shared among the 95% population. In the other side, 95% population, 95% wealth shared among the 5% population. Now, while you explain this model to your students, they definitely convinced and interested to be an business owner, and then later on they want to become an investor. The difference in the right and left side, the right side person, when they become the business owner or the investor and they went for the holiday, this business, this BNI helped them to generate the money while they were in holiday. Where in a left side, when you leave the job, you are not able to earn any money. When you are not sitting in your shop or in your business as a self-employed person, you will not earn any money. I hope this model is fair enough to be think about the entrepreneurship as career option. Now, why we need? The first need, we have the high in population. We are just behind with the China. We have around 67% population, which is in an age group of going to be in an age group of 15 to 64. Probably 2021, 2022, we reach in that score, and we have this population. This population and this age means the person is a part of economy. The person need a job. The person needs money to survive. The person need all luxury life which they are expecting. Government cannot provide this with their own resources. Government needs hands. Government needs support. And the entrepreneurship model which we are talking about is actually the process to make the people self-reliant, to make the people atmanirbhar, make the people to be understand, think about their own and contribution of their own. The next need is unemployment. We have the huge employment in terms of several sectors, but we cannot accommodate all the population in that sector. Let's say this is an IT sector. We cannot accommodate each and every person over there. So the people who are coming from the different colleges, universities, and other education institutions, they basically are not able to be joined that organization, not able to join that any particular industry where the skill set is required. So this reflecting that the people do not have a skill set. People are probably are only the degree holders. They do not have the skill to work on the industry job floor. And second more is another reason is we are now moving towards the industry 4.0, the fourth revolution of the industrial revolution, where the modern technologies, the robotics, IoT, data science, big data, blockchain, automation are coming. Industries are adopting industry 4.0 process, and there is a skilled manpower who are firing out over from the industry. And this creating another burden to the country in terms of unemployment box. We have another example of automobile sector, which is recently has badly impacted by the e-vehicles and other challenges. Now pollution and the other parameters which are forced to the automobile sector, they have came down with some processes to be filter out the manpower from their organization for survival of their industry. And this we all know, the global pandemic effect over the economy. So COVID-19 also affecting the economy, and there's a large number of people every day, every month are losing their job. Now, over all the situation, what the option we have? This is entrepreneurship. So let's understand this entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is a process, the process of self-excellence, the process of person, building an entrepreneurial person and then entrepreneurial society, the process of economical development. When I talk about the self excellence, it means the competency of a person, improve the competency of a person to become the self sustainable. When I talk about the entrepreneurial person and then society, it means create a person who is able to take a risk, who is able to innovate something, and who is taken able to become the entrepreneur. When you talk about the economical development, it means the wealth creation. Either it's in a foreign exchange, either it's in a self-wealth, or in all parameter wealth creation, means economical development. And then social development. If this will happen, the prosperity will come and the society will be developed. All right, in terms of background of India, probably we have learned job or listen this word while we have under the British period. And prior to that, our all population were engaged in the trading and in the agriculture system. So prior to independence, we were the self-employed, and today we are building programs, entrepreneurship development programs to train our young youth. All right. So the first economy was agriculture economy, where the government promoting the people, farmers, to develop the crops, develop the grains, and around 95%, 98% population, 90% population were engaged in agriculture area. The second economical movement came in terms of industrial economical movement, where the government allows and set up large number of PSUs, industries, manufacturing units for their employment. And the last one, which you call the innovation economy. Today, we are living in innovation economy. Today, the creativity, innovation has a price. Today, the copyright patenting has a price. Today, people who are invented a technology are getting a huge amount of money. This is the days of innovation. So in terms of innovation economy, where we do not require huge manufacturing setup, where we do not require huge infrastructure to create jobs. Here in innovation economy, laptops, home top, mobile, and this can be used as a business tools. All right. In terms of after the need, we have several challenges in it. We have four challenges which I identified. One is poor R&D ecosystem. Second means the R&D which is happening in the technical and management institutions are not capable to provide the jobs, are not capable to create jobs. The unemployability, a survey said that 50% of our engineering graduates per year are not employable. This means they do not have a skill set, immediate skill set, which is required in the industry. The last one, which we call the goal diverted youth. It means today's youth are not decided in the schools what to do next. Largely, they decide on the basis of what their friends are doing. They are choosing the career option in terms of what is in demand. Rather, the right way of the choosing a career option is to be understand the self strength and weaknesses and a skill set which you have and your interest too. And on the basis of that, you need to decide which career option is suitable for you. Maybe it's in a photography rather than the engineering. Maybe it's in a biotechnology rather than the medical science. Maybe it's in some other area. Maybe it's art and culture. Maybe the journalism. So there's a huge number of courses available. Huge number of career options are over. Markets are open. You need to be thinking about yourself in which area you are more comfortable. and the social barriers. That is means log kya kahenge, what society will say if I choose photography rather than engineering, what society will say if I become a lawyer rather than the journalist. So we are more worried about society, which is means the log kya kahenge. So apart from these challenges, uh, if you all understand and accept that today we India need the entrepreneurship in a front line. Today is not the choice to be an entrepreneur. Today is an urgency to be an entrepreneur. And the startups world, which is very different from the entrepreneurship and the entrepreneur journey. Let's understand what's mean by a startup and the entrepreneur. Any traditional business, which person is called the entrepreneur, if they are doing some new things, or the startups, which means there is something innovative business ideas involved. Right? Let's understand. All right, so in a traditional business, we have the business plan. In a startups, we also have the business plan, but business plan with innovation. Here in a traditional business, we have the capital, which we have received from our parent. And in the startups, we do not have the capital. We have the resources which we mobilize, like team, like office space, like technical knowledge, like server space, and other resources which is required to build in a product. Here we need to set up a factory or a shop, and here other side we are not doing any kind of like to be any physical space is required to do this. Here in our traditional business, we get the loan from the bank against the collateral security, and the startup, because we do not have any collateral security, we only have a equity share model where we really dilute the equity to raise the money, and the banks generally do not fund to the startups. We get the fund from the angel investor, incubators, innovation competitions, or from the venture capitalist. So startups model are very different from the traditional business. While I think about the startup, there are a stage-wise process from ideation to product. While we have an innovation, an idea, it is not sufficient to be raise money. It is not sufficient to be go for the market. We need to complete the proof of concept. The proof of concept is a scientific arrangement of technology or the system which we are proposing as an idea need to be tested on the bench. So we are scientifically proof it. That's we call the proof of concept. And in the next stage, we develop a prototype, which is a early stage first product, probably not directly used by any end user, but it give a sense of understanding that how my product look like. And other stage, we have the MVP, minimum viable product, and the finished product. This is a very famous valley of death model in the case of the startups, where this valley of death, where the ideation, the POC, the prototype building, and the bench scale production happen. And here are the large number of chances of failures are required. Angel investment, seed money, triple F is all are the working here in a valley of death. If any startups succeeded from this zone, they are fetched up by any venture capitalist or any other investors. The incubator, which as we are, I nurture, we are working in this dimension where the valley of death and support the startups to cross the valley of death. All the support system which we design to be for the startups to cross the valley of death. While the startups cross the valley of death, their growth is exponential, which is not happening in the traditional business. The traditional business goes growth is 10x, 20x, Here in a comparison of in comparison with the startup grows around 30x, 40x, 50x, 60x too also. This is a funding process, but probably this we are not discussing today here in the presentation. So let me skip this. Lean startups is a quick startup process. Why in startups wait for 1 year, 2 years for scalability? Why not we speed up the process so that the 6 months an idea convert into the product, company built out and goes up. This is basically for the people who are looking for to set up an incubation center. They could be think about the process of the lean startup way. All right. So there's a 9 step which we have designed to become a startup. One is which you call the first 0 level, where the mentor needs to be associated. You need to find out a mentor to be help you to test your initial business idea way, to test your proof of concept, to test your prototype building. And then the second one is test your entrepreneurial skill set. So testing your entrepreneurial skill set means, am I ready to be an entrepreneur? Do I have the attitude to be an entrepreneur? Do I have certain competencies which help me to gain and grow in this startup journey? If this is possible, probably you can go for the startup model. The second step, take in potential business idea. Taking potential business idea means finding an disruptive innovation, finding an idea which is required in a society, finding an idea which has some business value. The third step need to be go as to the people who are required you and your idea, who are required in your startups. The fourth step, develop a business model. There is a tool which is called the business model canvas. Probably that we'll discuss in this FDP program. This is a widely available tool. You can Google it. So business model Canva is a 9-point exercise. You can do it to understand what is a business I'm going to do. Where is my customer? What kind of support I needed from the system? How much money I required? How much cash I will burn? And the profit also. Design your solution. Bring the build the solution. Build your product on services which is actually you wants to be. Test with your customer. Ask the people, look at my product, feel it, understand it, and give me some feedback, what is good and what is bad about this. So test your customers. Bring money from the investor. People thought that if they have the money, they need not to go to the customer. They need not to go to the investor. But if you ask to the startup ecosystem player, they suggest you to pitch your idea to the investors, because the investors are the people who judge your idea in terms of value. And if there is a value, you surely get the funded. If there's a no value, you probably get the feedback and the advice from the investor and the people of the ecosystem to do what is good for the you. Launch your company. And all these things happens in the business incubator. The business incubator having all this capacity along with a model of which you call the exit model. So in any stage, if my students want to escape from this incubation portion, they can quickly quit from the process. All right, what is innovation? This I'm asking because we are going for a understanding about how a business idea and or what kind of the business idea is going to be funded and how I develop a business idea. So what make a person innovative? What risk it involve? This you need to be think two things. If I understand this innovation in a smaller terms, it means doing things in a new way and develop something which is not known to solve the problem. If anything which you are developing and this is not available anywhere. Surely, and solving some problem, this is called the innovation. Because there's a special session over this innovation. I'm a bit skipping, but moving towards a slide, which is actually a model that I have developed. And that model is called the problem versus solution. The problem versus solution means you need not to be think about an idea. You need to be think about the problems. The problems need to be stored, short it down, and pick up a problem. When you pick a problem, there's a multiple number of solution you can build out with this. So choose a solution. In this case, I have chosen a solution 3. That is my idea, and the selection of this solution is on the basis of how many money I required. Do I have the resources in it? Do I have all kind of the resources which is required to develop the idea is available to me or not? Do I have mentors in this dimension or not? So taking several matrices, several filter process, I have chosen the solution C as my product or service. So you need to be guide your students how they can do it. They can also be built out a table where they can store the problems and then bring the some solution in this manner. All right, if you have any query, you send me in the chat box so that I could answer it. Whatever we have learned from last 30 minutes. Now I'm moving ahead with the entrepreneurial competencies. The competencies means a person an individual who's having certain set of skills which is provided, inherited in it. The guy is not learned that skill set from outside any system, outside any book, from any video or any other things, right? So entrepreneurial competencies are imbibed inside you, and how I assess them. So actually, David Macklin, who has bring out this entrepreneurial competencies and achievement motivation process, they have find out around 14 set of competencies which is required to become an entrepreneur. And the first competence in it, that is initiative. Initiative means when no one come and say you to do something, you decide your own to become the entrepreneur. So entrepreneurs are the people who choose to be a startup. They start there by their own. They did not wait for any other guys to become and say, hi, you are doing good and you can become a startup. So these are the guys who think and start their own. So the initiative is the first competency is in it. Now the second one, seize and act on the opportunity. How many of us we see the opportunities? We see a lot of opportunity, business opportunities, and professional opportunity, growth opportunities, and how many of us act over it? So the David Macklin said, you need to see the opportunity of entrepreneurship and act as in over it, work over it. And many people who had seen the COVID-19 as a challenge, out of them, several people have seen COVID-19 as an opportunity. Persistence means the way of doing things repeatedly. Do not stop. You might get failed. So entrepreneurs are never stop. They fail and they stand again and they go for the new goal again. There are the many enterprises, entrepreneurs are failed, startups are failed, and they started new one. Information seeking. See what is happening in a society. Understand what is going on in the government. Understand what is going on in a worldwide, where the economy is going, where the people are, where the market is moving. So you need to be aware about your surroundings, what are the other startups are doing, what are the other students are doing, what the peoples in the IITs and NITs are doing, where the any institution who are working in an incubation area, how they are doing the incubation process. Right. Concern for high quality of work. So I still remember the Colgate is still coming in the market. There are the many other products which probably thrown out from the market. There are the many good Indian products which are still remain in the market. There are the many products which you have seen are came in the market and quit or thrown back by the consumers, by the customer from the market. So quality is always sustained. Now, commitment to work contract. This is another competencies which is inside any human being. So, commitment to work on people's committed many things in day-to-day processes. Do I able to be manage it? Efficiency orientation. How I can minimize the cost of doing things. How I can minimize the time of doing things, and maximize the profit, maximize the efficiency of my work. So the startups are entrepreneurs are always look at in this area where they can reduce their cost, they cut down their cost, and without hampering their product quality. Systematic planning. Plan in the way where what are the things is required first, which the thing is not required, what are the quality parameters need to be checked in it, and other things. All right. Problem solving attitude. People have the complaining attitude, and startups have the problem solving attitudes. That's why they solve the problems, earn the money, and then move to pick the another problem. Self-confidence. Do not to be the overconfident. I can do it. This is probably the confidence, right? But only I can do it is the overconfidence. This is a famous dialogue of any movie. But there is a SWOT analysis which we do for an as a psychometric test, by which we find out the person is in the strength area or the weakness area, and over the strength and weaknesses what the goal I have targeting. So if I have chosen a goal which is belong to my strength area, definitely it's a confidence. And a goal which I have chosen is belong to my weakness area is my overconfidence mode. All right, assertiveness. This means you need to be polite. You need to be passive, persuasive, rather than to be aggressive in nature. So you need to be logical. You need to be a positive person. You need to be polite person with logics. This means the assertiveness. And if I put anything in terms of politeness in with my logics, probably I can speak to anyone and I can convince anyone to be work with me. Persuasion, right? So we all have this competencies. There maybe the level is different in each and one. Probably in some competencies you are scoring 10 out of 10. In some competencies you are scoring 1, 2, 3, 5. So level may be varied, but you do not have any score 0 in any competency. So all of us having this competencies, we all are doing this. And if I accelerate these competencies up to the certain level, I will definitely become a wonderful entrepreneur. And this is a primarily tool to be test whether my students, whether me or any individual is ready to be an entrepreneur or not. All right. So persuasion is requesting someone to do which actually you want. Like use of influence strategies. There's some situations not only in India, in other part of the world also, where you need to use some strategy to influence the opponent, and where If you have this competency, you are doing it, you are using this, probably chances of winnings are higher. Moderate risk taker. So there is a concept of risk taking person, where that guy is a selectarist, he's not gambler. Remember, I've used the word gambler. So moderate risk taker means calculative risk taker. Rather than to be a gambler, that entrepreneurs take calculative risk. There's a certain logics, there's a certain calculation by which the entrepreneur take the decision of doing something. All right, so these are the above competencies. I hope you have enjoyed it and learned there's two things which is called the entrepreneurship as a career option, and the entrepreneurial competencies. The entrepreneurial competencies of any individual tested through a psychometric test, which we call the self-rating questionnaire. Another tool is available, it's called the motivational profile questionnaire. If we can do these two tests, we can find the exact values of an individual competencies. Thank you very much for listening to this.